Hi everybody, my name is Shannon. Welcome to my channel, Another Yarn. Thank you so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate it. Do we remember? Yeah, we do. We remember this. Do you remember the sweater made with this gorgeous alpaca yarn? This is the KNC Cloudpaca Joanne Fabrics exclusive, went a little nuts earlier in the year. And I wanted to make this beautiful, beautiful lavender and black sweater. I got the yoke done. Gorgeous, absolutely stunning alpine bloom pattern, color work, just beautiful. And I got the yoke done. And then I got about that much into the body, just coming down this way, right? And tried it on. It was a tent. It was a tent. It was, no, I couldn't fix it. And this is even after I had, I put more stitches in the front because it's a yoke sweater, it's round and everything to accommodate for the front being larger than the back and needing a little more fabric. So I had more stitches, because the yoke is a big circle, right? More stitches in the front, less stitches in the back. And then I even put in some back darts, which I've not really done before, but how hard can it be? It's just decreases, right? And if I get it wrong, you can just rip it out. Well, right before my Monday, this is everything that I did. I was so proud. I'm like, oh, look at this. I got so much done. It's going to be so cool. I get to show it off. I'm excited. I put it on the mannequin. I'm like, oh, that's huge. That's huge. Because you can't tell when it's all scrunched up on circular needles, right? That's too big. And then I'm fluffing it and playing with it. I'm like, no, there's nothing you can do. And if I decreased rapidly, it would just be this big bubble. And then, no. So the only thing was to start ripping it out. Yeah, that's okay. I mean, it's part of the process, right? Especially since I do not do what the patterns all suggest. We've all seen it. It's a suggestion. It's not a rule. But it does say, do a gauge swatch, at least 4 inches, launder it, do all that wonderful stuff that you're going to do with your garment when you're done with it. And then take all your measurements. And if that one's wrong, then do it again, right? And I'm like, I get that. I get the concept. No, I've not done it. So what that means is I'm playing fast and loose. I might not be going to Vegas or anything, but I am gambling. And as long as I'm gambling, I have to be comfortable with, oh, that's not proper. It's not great. Rip it out, which I had to do. So I got to that and I'm like 1 row from the color work. Guys, how far I ripped it out. And I got it all back on the needles because I was just pulling out all the black. And, with the black and the purple interspersed, I'm like, I don't know about that. So let's go downstairs and see. And then once we finish up that and I go through the process of ripping all that back to where I need to be, we'll come back up here and I'll show you that. All right, so I'm downstairs and I'm trying to work on my beautiful yoke sweater that is kind of a knockoff from the Alpine Bloom pattern since I started with it, but I did my own tweaks, right? So it's close, but it's not 100% on that particular sweater pattern. And I made the yoke way too big because I didn't gauge swatch. Well, I did, kind of, sort of, but we know how that goes. And then it was way too big. And I pulled back all of the black that I had. I had about that much of just black after doing the full yoke. And I got all that back down to 1 row of black after this row right here where we can see that I've got the 1 row of lavender. And then I unpicked, I painstakingly unknit 1 stitch at a time. I didn't like that. I mean, obviously it's getting me where I need to go, but I need to come back to about here. So what I did, and we're going to see if it's wise or not, I weaved this through. This is my, it's not a lifeline, this is the try-on cord, the needles. You can see right here, right? So I did my needle through what I think is a row. I think I did it correctly all the way around. We're going to find out. And I'm not really sure. So this is where we're at. And I still have my original needles on. And you can see all these live stitches as I was weaving the other part. So I'm not sure if I'm going to cry about this or not. But it was way too slow for me to pick it. And then obviously it's been tossed around. It's beautiful yarn. It's got dog hair all over it. I'm not the only person who has pets. And yeah, and straw bits, I don't know. I don't know. So that part's not making me happy. So here we are. And I'm going to take the working needle out throw all caution to the wind. This is the working needle. I'm just yanking that out. Okay, so not really yanking, but I'm pulling that out, and this is either going to be really cool and it's going to work, or I'm going to have to restart my sweater. So I'm not really sure where we're at the moment, but I figured you guys wanted to come along with me, right? Sure you do. All right, so I've got this, and I threw this on here because I didn't want to lose more stitches. Like I said, this is a try-on cord. We can spread this out, and you can see how lovely, I think it's lovely anyway, that yoke. Look at that. Look how beautiful. Look how absolutely stunning. So that's how far I'm wanting to pull back, and I just really did not want to go one stitch at a time. I did that for a full round, and I didn't like it. It's, I understand pulling out things is part of the process. That's fine. But I didn't like how long that was taking to do that before I can even get to working on it again. You know, I can't do that until I pull that out. Once I pull it out to that far, then I'll decide how I want to finish this piece off in a shorter manner to do the yoke. I remember at one point I added a few rows because I thought I needed it in the pattern, so I won't need those, and hopefully we can make that work. So I'm not really sure at this moment. All I know is that's way too big. Did I calculate at this point right here? Here, let's do it where the pink is. Did I calculate that this is how much I needed to pull out? No. That would have been smart, but no, I didn't. I'm just, you know, just like everything, I'm throwing caution to the wind, and it's gonna work. It is, trust me, it'll be fine. I say that. Do I really know that? Not really. And we're gonna see, because it's you see, this is a fuzzy yarn. Now, I got the black out pretty easily, but this is with the black twisted around that lavender, so I don't know how easy that's gonna be. And see, yeah, I got a big ball of black already. I mean, that's fine. If I want the sweater, I don't want to just throw this away, and I don't want to just start another piece and leave this languish. I mean, I'd like to reuse that yarn, so it's got to be either pulled out or salvaged or something. There, so this is faster. This is faster, and at this part it's pretty easy because I'm not to that lifeline yet. You know, so this works, and you got to tease the like, see right there, it's like, no, I am not playing. I'm like, all right. I can't put this on a ball winder. I've got 2 ball winders. That would have been pretty cool. But with this snagging like this, a ball winder is not going to help. I'm not going to be able to just wind that. So it's that painstaking action of doing this. But that right there is a lot faster. I spent 25 minutes, something like that, just getting that first round undone. You know, because you got to pick up the stitches, and then I had to tease each stitch because it wasn't coming, you know, like each one of these where I'm pulling on it, I had to tease the actual stitch and put the needle in. Ooh, okay. This is cool. I'm kind of excited. What did we do? Did we get a whole round yet? Woo! Feeling like a speed demon now. We got progress. Okay, it's the total opposite of progress. It's just the 100% opposite of progress, but it's not progressing faster than it was not progressing before, so that's cool. And once I get this pulled out, I can start adding to it again, so that's exciting. I mean, you just got to look at it in the positive manner. Both of it's the same, right? If you look at it like that in the philosophy way, probably not really philosophy, but whatever, I'm ripping it out. So I could be really upset, and I could be sad and say, oh my goodness, all that work that I put into it, this is terrible, I hate it, and I don't want to play. But that's counterproductive. Or I can just look at it as, it's a life lesson, it's learning. Each time I do a yoke sweater, I do get better. And this right here, I'm taking that gamble and that chance, and this part's kind of fun. So that's cool. And I don't have to worry about it until I get to the cord down there. And I do have all stitches are on a cord. And what I meant by do I have the right stitches is when I was going around, did I pick up the same stitches per each round? Because if I've got one that's on the opposite round or wrong round or something, that's going to make it a little bit more difficult, but it's still doable because I'm not going to drop any stitches. So this is pretty cool because I can go faster. Sweet. So what do you think of this process? Is it kind of freaky? I mean, if I didn't put in that cable pretty much a lifeline is what that is, if you're wondering. If I didn't just add that lifeline after the fact, yes, this would be a little freaky. But right now it's not so bad. This is just kind of, and it's so much nicer. Oh my gosh, that is so much nicer. Look at that. That's the black. Look, you see the purple round is still there. Can you see how the purple is still there? So obviously I got to catch up with the purple and wind up some of this black over here off camera. My ball's getting bigger. You can see my hand shadow. All right, so I'm going to grab that black. Ooh, look at that. We're just going around with that black, and then I got to add that go into the purple again. Okay, that's pretty cool. Look at that. Oh. All righty, that's cool. The yarn is beautiful, and if you're not familiar, if this is one of your first videos of mine that you're watching, this is the Joann, it's KNC's Cloud Packa. It's one of their proprietary yarns, although you can get something extremely similar with it on, if not the same thing, on Ice Yarns, which is really cool. So if you were interested in this type of yarn, at Joann Fabrics, we know that's being liquidated, so your chances of finding it are pretty slim. And if you did find it, chances of finding a sweater quantity, I think, are a lot slimmer. But then again, I'm not in charge of their warehouse. I have no idea where they sent their yarns, what they were doing with them, and who got what. And so since they totally announced their liquidation, I have gone to Joann since then in person twice, and I have not bought anything either time. I'm not against buying something, but I just haven't saw anything that I had to get because I bought a lot of Big Twist yarn. Here, I should probably put this on camera. I bought a lot of Big Twist yarn because that's the Joann exclusive. Of course, they have Lion Brand yarn. They had other yarns. But I bought a lot of that while they had the coupons and while they were trying to save the store before they went into full liquidation mode. And since I got so much in so many varieties in such large quantities, I don't really feel like I'm missing out on anything. I don't really feel the need to. Although, I'm not going to lie, when I was there, probably the last time, I almost got a couple. I actually had 4 skeins in my cart of the Big Twist value in that golden mustard color that we know I love so much, because they had a full bin of it. You know, since they're emptying the warehouse and everything, you can see what color they just opened the box from, because that's like the only thing on the shelf that's stocked. But they had a full bin of it. I love that color. That's the Winnie the Pooh color. I think it's fantastic. And I had 4 of them in my cart, and I decided, you know, I don't really need it. For that matter, do I have any of that behind me? Yeah, I think I'll have to look at that. That might be the gold. No, that's the yellow. I don't have the gold. You know, will I regret not getting it? No. They've, you know, Red Heart has a color like that. That's fine. Other colors. And besides, I'll get sidetracked onto something else later anyway, so it doesn't matter. I mean, know yourself, right? This is, we can see how much faster that is. Look where we're at right now and how far we did have. So this is kind of exciting. I am snagging some, but it's okay. This makes me happy. I mean, not necessarily having to pull out all my work. I mean, my ball's gotten bigger. Not necessarily having to pull all of this out, but it's okay. The faster I get this pulled out and not lose interest, because if I, truthfully, unwinding it unknitting 1 stitch at a time is just, it takes actually a little bit longer than the knitting itself, because you're picking up those strands and making sure that it's okay and it's not snagged and whatever. So that takes just as long. And it would take me that much longer before I got to a point where I could start moving forward again. So this is exciting that this process will get me there that much quicker. And then this can get back into the rotation with all the other sweaters that I have. We've determined that I have 7. We know it's more, but we've determined that there's 7, and those will be in rotation. In some weeks, I'll work on all 7 of them. In other weeks, I'll just work on 1 or 2 of them. And, you know, the baby weeks, I'll just do what I want to baby stuff, and everything else will just be set aside. Okay, this is pretty cool. Did you notice that? So I was doing the purple round, and now I've got the black, and I'm going all the way around, just ripping out that black, and then I'll pick that purple up. Oh, I like this. This is fabulous. I don't think it really shows as lavender on right now, but I'm down in the basement, what I call my overflow room. This is where I have the desk set up that I can do things like this. I would love to not have this and just have the desk, but the desk is black, which is fine. I don't have a problem with the desk being black, but it shines. So you get the glare from that, and that does not work well. I mean, we're already dealing with down here poor lighting. We've got the overhead can lights, and that's casting kind of a yellow shadow. Actually, I'm not sure if that's casting a yellow shadow or the fact that the walls in here are yellow, you know, and that just makes it really dim. You would think a yellow room would be bright, happy, and sunshiny, but it's really not. I was at a place where the bathroom walls were yellow and no natural light windows, and it was always so dark. It wasn't my house or anything, but it was always so dark, and you just wouldn't think that. You would think yellow is going to brighten everything up, but not in that situation. Okay, so this is what I was talking about. Do you see this one right here? So I picked up the wrong one, and that right there is stuck around that particular tubing, which is okay, but that's just going to make it a little more difficult to pull that one, so that's fine. I'll continue to come around here. I'll get to that one on that next row when it gets undone, and you know, grab that tubing. And it looks like I got another one over here. So what I'm going to have to do to continue is, let's see, where's my stuff at? But that's pretty cool, because look where we're at. Look at this. We are down to pretty much where I had put that cable. That's nice. Let me go ahead and do this purple. So if I have to just run through another needle, yeah, this one I did it too. So if I run through another needle on that, that is not an issue at all. Cool. All right, I got quite a few of the rows done before any problems. All right, so I've got my needle right here. That's this one. So what I'm going to do is take this. You see this is that barber cord. That's that Tryon cord. I'll pop that off. Grab this. This is the one that we're wanting right here. Let that come off. Put that back on. Put this back on because I don't want to lose those other stitches. So we're good there. So I can continue pulling that purple out until I hit another snag. But I'm okay with that because I got all of those rows done, didn't lose any stitches, and that's awesome. That is amazing. So I think we got the other snag right here. Yep. So right here, I've got that purple and the black that need to be released. That's a good way to put it. Release me. Release me. I don't want to play anymore. Yeah, so this is pretty cool. I don't know. I should probably go off camera. I don't know if this is exciting for you or not. It's exciting for me. I'm doing stuff, and it's getting that much closer. See what I'm doing here? I've got it to where I take that barber cord off here. Make sure I have a good end of it because I don't want to slip that off. It's this one. Pop that off. So now that's free. Good. Yeah, should have done it the other way. Okay. Pop that purple one off. That's good. Those two back on. Slip the barber cord back on so I don't lose any other stitches. And that was just because I had picked up the wrong stitch. But I'm good with that because I didn't lose any, and I'm making sure that's actually snug, but I didn't lose any. So hallelujah, that's amazing. And here we are again here. And that's okay. I can follow that all the way around and grab each one that I had gone with incorrect. And I don't have the correct size needles on right now. The correct size needles were the working ones. These were smaller needles that I put on just so I could run this through and pick up all of those stitches. It just made it a little bit easier to use a smaller needle than the working needle. So this is not my knitting needle that I will be using, but these are interchangeable tips. So once I get it to that point, I can just put on the correct tips and decide what I want to do next. See, look at this. There we go. Probably shouldn't break it like that, but too late now. I already did it. Did it. So here we are back on to right there with that black. But we can see how much we've reduced on this. That's going to be a whole lot nicer. Hopefully this will produce a sweater that will fit me. Ultimately, that's the goal. If not, it'll fit somebody, but I would really like it to be me. Have it as me as the somebody that it fits, not somebody else. You know, I mean, truth be told, right? It's pretty. I got it for me. So, and I played fast and loose with the sizes, but if you've been around for a while, you know that's what I do. I gauge sort of, and most of the time I really don't care if it fits a person, you know, I just don't. I like to knit and I like to crochet, and I just don't play with all of that other stuff so much. When does it matter? Because you've seen it when it matters. When does it matter? When it's my husband's, because I want it to fit him. I want it to fit a specific body. And I've had to pull up quite a bit on his because I play pretty much fast and loose with this stuff. So if you're like me, that's fine. You can definitely do the same thing. Just be comfortable that you might have to also, like what I'm doing, be comfortable. See, the purple one's connected. Be comfortable doing the same thing that I'm talking about right here of, oh, okay, I have to make more. I have to put this stuff on, you know? Yeah, you do. That's what that is. But it's not a big deal. If you like your crafts, if you like your knitting, crocheting, it really doesn't matter, because don't we pull out in crocheting also? I mean, come on now. I know I do both. But if you like the craft and you're doing it because you enjoy it, it doesn't hurt your feelings as much. Back on it goes. Should have made this a live. Just saying. Definitely should have gone live on this. This whole thing has a feeling to me as like a live. You know, it's like, watch me fix my sweater. Oh, look at this. Like, this is why people don't like interchangeable needles. Do you see that? Do you see how it's kind of unscrewing right there? So what I'm going to do, I come like this. Grab that. Okay, so we've got that. Come here. I'm going to pop it off the barber's cord so I can screw it tighter. There we go. And put it back on. That's the part that people don't like because it can come undone. And, you know, that really bites when you're working with lace. Well, it's not so cool either way with whatever you're working on, because you can really lose stitches and a lot of work with that. But we are getting it. Oh my goodness. This is exciting. I did not think it was going to be like this. I was a little concerned, so I was just going to pick it out one stitch at a time. And after doing that one row, I decided I don't want to do that. And, now I'm just doing this, just unripping one thing at a time. So I'm going to go ahead and finish that up. And once I get that done, I'll turn the camera on and let you guys see it. So we've done great. Thanks, guys. Check this out. I had to come back and show you. Look at this. That's the 2 black stitches that are stuck. The purple one's fine. The 2 black that are stuck, purple's fine all the way around. So when I picked it up, I was very consistent how I did that. So I'm slowly going through with this barber cord and making sure that I get all the stitches properly. So that's taken me quite a bit. I've got over half of this round done, but I thought you might get a kick out of that. I just expanded each one, and that's where I'm at. And then I will have all of those just perfect, beautiful stitches on the needles. And so very much faster than what I was doing previously. Even with this humorous thing, I was consistent, so that was pretty cool. And had I gotten on the right stitch, then I would have already been done. So there we have it. Okay, what'd you think? Oh my gosh, that last round-ish, round to 2 rounds, took so much longer. I was so consistent with which stitch I put that needle in and created my after the fact lifeline, which is fine. I didn't lose any stitches. It took so much less time than what I was originally going to do, and that's unknit each stitch. I unknit that one round of plain black, and I'm like, nope, I am not going to do that for however many rounds it was that I ripped out. So I enjoyed the chat. I enjoyed playing as far as that. It made it joyful. It really did. That was fun. I am right here. Look at this. Look, I now have a small ball of the lavender and a really large ball of that black. You know, that black ball is just growing. And then I look at this and there's not, I mean, I ripped a lot out. Look at that. We had that whole leaf was completely, you know, that was a good chunk. It should be enough now. Everything in me says I'm just going to continue at this point. I'm going to count how many stitches I have, see, maybe do one, and I tried to rip it back far enough that I could Still put on, maybe put back 1 or 2 rows, but change the color work a little to where it's not an abrupt end. You know, maybe on this next row, make it to where those leaves finish off like that. You see what I mean? You know, and then call it done. I'll count my stitches and everything and see. Is that still playing fast and loose? Yeah, it is. I'm good with that. We know this. We've seen this. So what? Ripping it out like that and doing that afterthought lifeline so much faster. Now I can start working on it. Now it's not going to be shoved in a bin like my bin, you know, it'll be shoved in a bin and forgotten about. It's at a point it can be redone. And sometimes, I don't know about you, sometimes with my whips, if it's at that point or that stage that I need a decision or I need to do something large, like, oh, I don't know, ripping out that many rows and how am I going to go about doing it, that can really stop that progress and stop that, because I'll come home from work and I want to work on something. I just want to knit. I just want to crochet. I just want relaxed and mindless. I get it. You're thinking that's not relaxed and mindless with the color work. Well, it was exciting enough that it might as well have been. I'm just saying, it was exciting enough that it still counted. I had my pattern, I had this, I messed with it a little bit, whatever, and I'm going with it. So it still counted. It was still forward, and I didn't have to think about the next step. And I like that. So having to rip all that out, that's thinking about the next step. How am I going to do this? There you go. And it's, you know, unknitting 1 stitch at a time is not joyous. So thank you for coming along with me and doing that. And we are here, and that circle is much smaller. Should I put it on? I don't know. My hair is so fluffy and high today. I just left it. I'm like, I love this. I really expected hubby to say something like, "Ooh, that's a bit high, don't you think?" To me, it's like a pinup girl. It got a little swirl and everything, and then just a little long right here. Oh my gosh. Anyway, sometimes I swear I was born in the wrong time period, or at least my hair was. You know, maybe not me, but the hair, right? We're just going to go with it that way. All right, so I got more stitches in the back than we do in the front. Okay, we know that. All right, we're going to mess up the hair. There we go. We're going to do it anyway. All right. Okay. That right there, and this might still be a little big, but I think I can work with this. I think, am I still sideways? Whatever. We get the gist, right? There we go. We get it. I think I can still work with this. So you can see with just this laying on my chest and shoulders, how big this is. And we saw how much I ripped out. Yeah. And I don't know why I didn't think of it, because when I set it on my shoulders, it wasn't a circle anymore. It bowed up. This part bowed up. That just created a lot of extra fabric. For that matter, let me see. Let's see. I don't know. I didn't check this. I wonder if pulling, okay. Here. So we see this, and you see how this is kind of going up a little bit. So that's still a bit more fabric. But before, it really went up, which just is indicative of just way too much fabric. And what are you going to do about that? So I'll count my stitches. If I have to rip out a couple more rows, I have to. But you see what I'm getting at? You see, that's not a circle. That's more than a circle. Yeah. We'll see. Not sure. I don't really know at this point. I don't want to rip out. I could rip out more, whatever. I wonder if I can make this work. I wonder if I can count my stitches and get this to work, because obviously I still have arm stitches, and, you know, I'll put more in the chest like I was doing previously. I'll do all the tricks. So obviously I've got those on the arm, and then you do add extra under here on the underarm. I did that on the last one. Boy, I sure didn't need it, because the fabric, there was just way too much fabric. But I'll take all that into consideration and still put more stitches in the front. And what that does is it tightens up the back a little bit, because, you know, less in the back, more in the front. And then I'll probably still do some back darts, right? Can't do them too drastically, because if you have too much fabric anyway and you're doing that, it's going to make this weird bubble. And that's, you know, you'll look like Hunchback or something, you know. It's like, I got a bag on my back always, and that's probably not a good thing, you know. Maybe it'll make you look bigger than what you already are, because it's like, oh, look, I've added rolls on my back. Because as women, that's what we want. We want back rolls. Yes, that. We want our garments to enhance back rolls. No. So there we have it on that. This is exciting me. This is really cool. count my stitches, see where I'm at, and I think I can work with this. I think I can. Sure I can. Yeah, it's a thing. It could happen. And we'll just move on, and we'll see, you know, we'll see if I can adjust it and make it work. But that was a bunch that got pulled out. Hey guys, future me here, guess what? I counted my stitches on the yoke. I have 306 stitches, which is how many stitches that I had when it was way too big. Yeah, which means I'm gonna have to pull back even farther. It's just the way that it goes. It really is just the way that it goes. Look at that. Look, I have pulled out 2 full leaf sections. I barely have any color work left, but I'm down to like 270 stitches or something along that line. I got rid of a bunch of stitches that I needed to get rid of, and then I can just work flat. I'll change patterns. I'll do whatever needs to be done. But oh, we saw that beautiful yoke. I didn't pull all of it out, but I did pull a lot of it out. I mean, I pulled a lot out. It's going to be fine. It's going to be beautiful. You just have to roll with it. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining me. That's so, as I was doing that, I'm like, this should be alive. I should have like an iPad next to me and scrolling comments or something. This should definitely be alive. But yeah, there we go. That is my progress. There we have it. I do like going downstairs and working on those things, but the lighting, oh my gosh, the lighting, and I have the light rings and what have you, but it's the yellow walls, I swear. There was a business, my husband owned a business before, and the bathroom had yellow walls, and it didn't matter what the strength of the light bulb was, it was always so dingy in the bathroom, and the bathroom was clean. But it was like it sucked the light. It was always so dank and dark and dingy looking. And that's how it looks downstairs. And I know when they painted that bathroom, they were thinking, ooh, happy sunshine. There's no windows. Let's make it yellow. It's bright. It's pretty. You know, and the same with the downstairs. Previous owners painted it. And yeah, good enough, right? And now I'm using it for filming. It's like, oh yeah, the yellow, that's what it is. So I've got bad lighting down there, and the walls are not covered in yarn like it is up here. So it's bad lighting and bad sound, but that's where I have it set up where I can do things where I can lay things out comfortably. When you see my hands, and that's where I have it set to where if I get the urge, I could do tutorials. So it's like, you know, give or take. If I waited until I had this space set up properly, no, just no, it's not going to happen. I'm not even going to fool you. It's not going to happen. So that's what we've got right there. So it was a lot of fun just going to both places and everything and being able to chat. All right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. You guys have a great day, night, evening, whatever it happens to be. And I will talk to you again later. Bye-bye.